Hi there, and welcome to another video in my Photoshop Essential Skills series. Everything you need to know to get you well and truly started on your journey of discovery with Photoshop. Today I want to look at creating a composite image. Now that's taking something from one image and placing it in another one so that it looks reasonably good. Now here we've got a studio shot of a chef, and up here I've got his kitchen. Now today we're going to bring them together to something like this. Okay, well, now don't forget, if you're a fan of the printed page, don't forget to check the more area under the video to see if there are any free ebook or work files to accompany the video. If there are, just click on the link to download them. Okay, let's dig in. Right, first thing we need to do is to make a cutout of the chef. Now I'm looking at this and thinking, well, yeah, I've got quite a bit of contrast around the edges. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit light here, but definitely I think I'm going to have some problems at the bottom. So I'm going to make a little bit of a plan. I'm going to get a bit sneaky, and what I'm going to do is put a levels adjustment layer on, and I'm just going to leave it there for the time being. I'm going to click back on my background layer again, and I'm going to start making my selection with my quick selection tool. So I'm just going to click and drag. You can see it makes a pretty good job of finding them edges because it has edge detection built in. And I get down to the bottom and I think it's going to fail at the bottom. Yeah, I thought so, but we'll just get as much as we can very quickly. And yeah, it's gone off to the eye. That's not, I thought it might do that. So we'll get as much as we can with this tool because it is a quick tool. Now down this edge I think we might be able to rescue it a bit, so I'm going to hold the Alt key down so we're looking at subtracting from selection now, and I'm just going to come in, and it makes a pretty good edge if you're careful of finding that edge. That's pretty cool. But down here there is no edge, so this tool is really going to struggle to give me anything sensible around here. So I've got to have a backup plan, and my backup plan is mid-levels adjustment layer. So if I click on that, and then I'm just going to move the mid-tone slider to the left, and what that's going to do is lighten up all my image, and it actually shows me where I need to go. It's like shining a torch on it. And my tool of choice for this is the Polygonal Lasso tool, and I'm going to set it to subtract from selection because I want to subtract this from the selection. And you may ask, well, why are you using a straight line tool for going around corners? And it's a very good question. And somebody said to me a few years ago now that, do you realise that a circle is just a lot of very, very short straight lines all end to end? And it didn't make much sense at the time, but it does now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a lot of small clicks. So I'll just zoom in a little bit more, and I'll start outside here, and I'll click, and then as I go around a corner I'm just going to do it with little tiny clicks, and then when I get to a straight piece I can do a straight piece. This is pretty straight, and then when I get down to here I'm going around a corner again, so I'm going to do it in little clicks. Get around to here, I can do a straight line. I say you would probably take more of your time with doing something like this. I just don't want the video to be going on till tomorrow. So I'm going to go fairly quickly, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going around the corners with little clicks, and then on the straight pieces I've got the big clicks, but I can see where I'm going now. And I'll go up to there, and yeah. I don't think there's enough time for you to have a cup of tea. I'll be finished in a minute. You can see small clicks going around corners, and then longer pieces like that I can do with longer clicks, if there is such thing as a longer click. And we'll go around and we'll get to there, and then we'll just zoom out to see where I am. And I can probably, yeah, just go down his trousers now in probably one big one, and then round and out and back to where I started. And there we have it. We've subtracted all this, and we've got looks like a nice curve going on around there. Oh, now there's a bit in the middle that I've missed. Okay, so let's go and deal with that. I'll spacebar drag to move about the image. I'm still in subtract from selection mode, so I can just go around that corner quickly, down to there, into there, and then a straight line back to the start. And I can see I've got a little bit missing there, so let's deal with that while we're here. So this time we're going to add to selection, and we'll just do a little bit of a clicky thing around there. There we go, that looks pretty cool. Just zoom out so we can have a look at that, and that's not bad for a first pass. So what I can do now is I can actually drag this adjustment layer into the bin, because I don't need it anymore. It's served its purpose and I'm throwing it away now. Right, next I want to refine this edge a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that I've got any, it doesn't matter which one, a selection tool active, because then I get my select and mask button appear. I'm just going to click on that, and that's going to take me into select and mask, and I can see straight away that it's a pretty clean cutout. It don't seem bad. I'll zoom in a little bit just to have a quick look, and again we've got spacebar dragging here, and that looks a pretty clean cutout. Oh, I've missed a bit off his arm. Alright, well, when I'm in this tool now, I've got some tools here, and this one here that's got like the little wispy brush, that's for hair. This one is for any bits that you've missed. We've also got the lasso and the polygonal lasso tool as well, but I'll just use the paintbrush and I'll just try and paint in where I've missed his arm. That looks pretty good. Oh, I've got a little bit of grey going off there, so I'll go into subtract mode and just try and take that out. That looks pretty good. I think I'm reasonably happy with that as a selection. I can just shift the edge in a bit if I wanted. If I had any stray pixels around the outside, which it doesn't look as though I have at the moment, I could just shift the edge in just a little bit, and that would just take those pixels off. But at the moment I'm happy with that, and I'm going to click OK. Now it's output that as a selection for me, so I'm now going to add a mask, and when I add a mask it'll add that with the selection that I've just made. Okay, I think we're cooking with gas now. So we've got our chef all nicely masked out. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put him in his kitchen. Now the kitchen image is over here, and it's nice and clean and empty and waiting for him. So I'm going to go back to my chef start image. I'm going to move it, so I need to get my move tool or press the V key, and then from within the image here I'm just going to click and drag over the chef kitchen, drag it back and let it go. Now you can see he is a little bit too big, so I'm going to go into transform with Control and T, and I'm going to just hold the shift key down while I drag the corners so I can keep in the same proportions, something like that. Just have his hat up there, and because of the lighting conditions I think he will be better facing the other way. Now he's got no writing on him or anything, any logos, so I think I can get away with this. And while I'm in transform I'm going to right click and go down to flip horizontal, and then I'll just move him over a little bit so he's near the table. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, I'll just double click, or you can click the tick up in the tool options bar to accept that transform. Now it's all looking pretty good. Now if there is any areas that might need a little bit of help, which I think there's a little bit of stray pixels going on down here, then we've now got the mask which we can use to help us. So I'm just going to click on the mask, and then I'll zoom in a little bit with Control and plus just to zoom in a little bit. And yeah, we've got a few stray edge pixels going off down this arm here. Zoom in a bit more. So now what we can do, because this is a mask, if I paint with black I'll be painting out the background, and if I paint with white I'll be painting in the chef. So let's have a go with that. We'll paint with black and get a paintbrush. Ooh, a little bit smaller than that, and we'll just try and just edge into these pixels here, because I just want to paint them out. So all I'm doing is I'm just painting with black on the mask. I think that's part of his shirt, but we'll take it out anyway. Okay, and that's the great thing about working with masks. So if I had something that was missing, then all you're doing is you're painting with black or you're painting with white to re-establish that edge. And I think the edge is pretty good. Let's just have a quick look, see if I can find anything that's a bit iffy. Not much really, that all looks pretty good. I have got a few grey pixels around this top area. I wonder if we can fix them. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on the mask, and that'll take me back into select a mask. Or you can see in the properties panel, I can go back into select a mask from there. And what I'll do is I'll just try a little bit of shifting the edge. So I've just shrunk that edge of the selection a little bit, and I don't think it's done any harm to anywhere else. But you can see it has got rid of those edge pixels. So I'm happy with that, and I'll click OK. Now it's generated me another mask and another image. So the first one, which had the line on, I can get rid of. So I'll just drop that in the bin. And now I've got a much better selection. Okay, now I'm happy with the composition. I've got him cooking in a kitchen, but they've both been taken, both the chef and the kitchen, in different lighting. And you can see that the chef is a lot warmer than the background is. So I'd like to try and just match them up a little bit. So I'm going to use what's called match colour, and I need to have the actual layer and the image selected when I do this. And I'm going to go to image and adjustments and match colour. Now what this allows me to do in essence is try and bleed some of the background colours through into this foreground here, the chef. So we should be able to match the colours a little bit better on the lighting. Now there's only a couple of things that we need to bother about. The source, well, that is, well, where are we going to get, what image are we basically using? And we're using, which one is it, the chef kitchen start. So I'm using that as the image. And then the layer, this is saying, well, what layer do you want to get the colours from to bleed through to the chef? And of course that's this background layer. So on the layer, I'm just going to click, I'm going to select background. Now it does look a bit weird because we've basically gone, well, we've gone too far. But that's where these sliders come in handy. We've got a fade and a neutralize. So what I can do is I can fade the effect. So I can go from basically no effect at all to 100% effect, but somewhere in between the lighting conditions look better. Now sometimes the neutralize works, but it does tend to put a little bit more blue in. So I'm not bothered about that today. I'm just going to go and back it off a little bit more. And then I'll just click the preview button on and off. And you'll see that it does look as though he matches a lot better. As though he was actually taken in the lighting conditions that prevailed in the kitchen at the time. And I'm really happy with that. I'll just show you again. That's a before and that's after. And I'll click OK. Well, that's it for this video, making a composite image. I do hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up please, or leave a comment under the video for me. Or if you're feeling good, share it with a friend or two. Now don't forget to check out the more area under the video for the link to any download files or free ebooks. And please click the subscribe button so when I upload a new video you are the first to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.